Councilmember Anderson?
I'm here.
Are you sure? All right.
I see that.
Wouldn't I be board member Anderson, though?
Only if you want to.
Is he happier?
Yes, thank you. Board Member Mallory
Yes.
and Board Member Nye is absent, and Board Member Whiting
Here.
and Member Rooney is also absent, and I see that Board Member Grossman is back.
Yes, I am.
This is very
We have a quorum.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Diane. Okay, next thing is consent agenda. Who's going to read that one?
I'll read it, Mayor.
Very well, okay. Read the
Consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine by the district board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately for discussion and possible action. Approval of June 14, 2018 CFD minutes.
Okay, anyone want to pull an item for separate discussion, or do you want to approve it as a whole?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, second, anyone?
Hello.
This might die for lack of a second.
I'll
Diane.
second.
Okay, we just had a second. Will you set the vote, Diane?
Whoa.
We're waiting on technology.
My screen just went dark. Bear with me a moment, please.
That's probably what the scratching was. Yes.
That's unanimous, Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, move on to number 4, new business for review, comment, and/or possible action. Public hearing. I declare the hearing open. Bill?
Good evening,
Regarding
Chairman.
the final budget for Entertainment Center Community Facilities District.
Good evening, Chairman, board members. We always seem to have issues when we get into the CFD meetings, isn't it? So, okay, it has nothing to do with me either. I just want to point that out right up front. Tonight you'll be approving the tentative budgets for each of the CFDs. Unfortunately, we'll have to have a public hearing for each of the CFDs before the adoption. The items were discussed back in June 14th board meeting, so I'm just going to go over them kind of quickly. And just for board member Anderson, I decided to do a PowerPoint presentation.
Good.
So, and this way, I figured, I did this for your benefit because I felt that you can see the budget right in front of you. You don't have to flip through all the pages and go through all the resolutions.
And I appreciate
So
that.
I was thinking on for all of you as a whole.
That's big of you, Bill.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So just to hit a couple of highlights. Total revenues, as you can see, is $3.7 million. Facility revenues, these are the amount of money that that Spectra, our management company, is anticipating they're going to collect next year.
Nice.
The contribution, that is the amount of money that the town's general fund will be contributing. We believe this is the maximum amount. Facility does better, there's less cost, then our contribution will be less. The tentative budget, you can see, is $4,675,000. It does include $940,000 for capital. That's the estimated remaining balance that we have from the bonds that were issued, the $2 million bonds that were issued a year ago or so. So most of that will be spent this upcoming fiscal year. So with that, Chairman, I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions, anyone? I think there's no public comment either, and no questions. If that's the case, I'll move on to declare the public hearing closed. We'll move on to B, consideration of authorizing the chairman to sign resolution number 26, adopting the final budget for Entertainment Center CFD fiscal year 2018-19. And I think And if there's some questions, then all we need is a motion on that.
Mr. Mayor, I'll be happy to make a motion.
Okay.
Motion to authorize the chairman or in his absence the vice chairman to approve resolution number 26, adopting the Entertainment Center Community Facilities District's final budget for fiscal year 2018-19.
I'll second.
And a second, we got a motion and a second. Would you set the vote? Diane?
It's approved unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to another public hearing. Final budget for Parkway Community Facilities District. I declare the hearing open. Bill?
Chairman, I just have a couple comments. As the slide in front of you shows what the primary value...
The way it's not sliding up.
Pardon me?
We're not seeing the slides, but that's okay.
That's me.
Sorry about that.
There it comes.
Okay. The slide in front of you shows the assessed value, or what they used to call secondary assessed. They changed the name now. It's primary value for special districts. But this is the value that we receive from the county on an annual basis. So you can see over the last 4 or 5 years, it's been fairly level. We haven't had any major changes in ownership going from a for-profit to a non-for-profit. So all that seems to be has settled down a little bit right now. So right now we're just under, right around $1.5 million assessed value. It has increased, but it's increasing at a very, very slow pace at this point. This slide right here shows, the line shows property tax collected in dollars. So you can see on the side, it's in thousands of dollars. And then next to it was the actual tax rate that we charged that year. So you can see the fluctuation in rates over the various years. This year we are proposing that the rate be lower to $12.74. Last year it was $13.94. It's hard to tell, but I believe that every property owner within the district should see a slight decrease in their tax bill at this point. This is the tentative budget amount of $283,400. The contributions, that is money that the town is contributing, $50,000, and then we also have 2 nonprofits, Stepping Stones, and then the church is also contributing money toward the debt service payment. So with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Questions, anyone? Probably not. If there's no questions, public comment, we'll declare the public hearing closed and go on to number D. Consideration of authorizing the chairman to sign resolution number 29, adopting the final budget for Parkway CFD 2018-2019 budget. Anybody care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Motion to authorize the chairman or his absence the vice chairman to approve resolution number 29, adopting the final budget for Parkway Community Facilities District number 1 for fiscal year 2018-19 by electronic vote.
I'll second, Mayor.
Okay, with a motion and a second, would you set the vote, Diane?
Passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, we're going to number E. Public hearing, final budget for Pronghorn Ranch Community Facilities District. I declare the hearing open. Bill, any comments?
Yes, a few. On this slide, you can see it's also, again, the property value. It's assessed value for the Pronghorn District. You can see in 18-19, we're almost back up to where we were in 2008 and 9. Now, it's probably a little bit misleading because back in 2008 and 9, there's a lot fewer homes than there are now. So the assessed value is growing. It's growing at like Pronghorn was 12.4% over the previous year. And any existing homes that were on the tax rolls, they've only increased 5%. So the difference is actually is growth related. So we are seeing a lot of growth out there. The values just are not there from where they were back in 08, 09 at this point yet. This is the tax rate, and again, the property taxes that we've collected over the lifetime of the CFD. You can see 330. That's anything prior, later than that was also at $3.30. That's when the CFDs were created. That was the rate that was stated at that time. You can see with the change of values in an assessment where the rates have changed pretty dramatically over the various years. Right now, we are proposing a rate of $2.67 compared to $2.81. That's about a 5% decrease. Let's see. And then here's the budget for the year. Tentative budget was $534,947. The successor and interest, the primary, one of the reasons why the rate is kind of the lower, is down below that 330, is because of this amount of money that we collect. It's an additional fee that we charge on every permit. Once this goes away, though, this will start affecting the rates. Again, I don't know how many homes are left to be built out in Pronghorn, but we have 10 years left on our debt service. If that build-out occurs prior to that, the successor and interest goes away, then you'll see an adjustment. You'll see the rates start going back up again, unfortunately, unless we have a lot of increased value in the assessed to cover that difference. And this slide right here, it shows this is a property owner in Pronghorn. What their bill was last year, they're going to pay $591. Their assessed value went up 5%. Their tax rate basically went down 5%. So overall, they're just going to see a very, very small decrease in their bill for the most part. With that, I'll answer any questions.
Questions, anyone? Public comment, anyone? Glenn, you're...
Mayor, Council, and staff, I live in Pronghorn Ranch, and I pay $610 a year for this CFD on my tax bill. Just to clarify things, I'm not going to prolong this. I don't have but 5 minutes, but there's pros and cons for a CFD. And by looking at Resolution 42 and looking through the documents, and basically what happened is something that we got to use for experience. So I would like to act, and this actually happened in January 24th of 2002. And can I ask, has anybody on this council been on a council at that time, which I doubt?
When was this now?
January 24th, 2002.
I could say I was here.
You were here, but not the council.
That is, I don't believe anybody on
No,
council.
okay.
A single one of us.
So basically what I know what happened is that to get this development, to get developers come out of the big city up to the little city, you got to dangle the carrot, and the carrot was the CFD. If that CFD wasn't available, you probably wouldn't have Pronghorn. You probably wouldn't have a lot of these developments in there.
That's not true. Let me go ahead and give you a little bit of history of CFDs. When the state legislature changed the law and permitted them at the request of the development community statewide, there were hundreds of them all over the state, and in small communities, large communities, whatever. The real thing to understand about a CFD is that your house in Pronghorn, you were able to purchase at a lower price because the cost of much of the infrastructure was put into the CFD, and you ended up paying it out over time rather than paying for it up front. And that's just the way that it is. Now, I have very clear direction from this mayor and council, many of whom went through the recession that hit us starting in 2007, that they have communicated to me, we hope to never see another CFD. We have communicated that to new developers coming into the market, that the first thing they ask for is, we are very interested in a CFD. And we have been very clear in communicating to the new developers who will go unnamed to say, we don't do CFDs anymore. But at the end of the day, you paid less for your house because the developer did not have to go out into either the banking or the bond market to pay for those infrastructural items because he put it on your shoulders to pay out over 20 years. Bottom line.
Larry, I understand the CFDs. I was in the business, and I understand it very well.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I played market value for my house. I know I was in the business, the real estate business, and I know what I paid a square foot, and I didn't pay below market value. Anyways, I don't want to get into that part of it. The thing is that I'm glad you mentioned it, that in the future, we will not go with a CFD, because basically, it's a Ponzi system in reverse. First in a Ponzi system gains a lot, but not in a CFD. People have been in the CFD for almost over 20 years and are still paying. And the people that are just coming in only have to pay there's 11 years left on it. They only have to have 11 years to go. So it really wasn't fair. But now to think about it is that we have something going on right here, right in this town, that we all are going to benefit by, and that's the growth we have. And what I would like just to go off this one point a little bit tonight, that water person that talked about the water, we have to have that put in the paper more. People are actually saying things that are not true. He came and said the truth about what this water situation is. This was done years ago. These master plans were approved years ago with that 100-year allotment for water. We need to get that advertised, and it needs to be, the public needs to know more about it. But just one little thing that I want to end up with the CFD is that I was told that all the money, that $7 million, well, it's $6 million and change, 15 and change, is already spent. Am I correct, Larry?
Yes.
Okay, now, Dorn has built Section 16. Did they build that under the CFD?
All of Pronghorn is in the CFD. If that's what you're asking.
No, because there's 4 units that are not built yet.
All of Pronghorn is in the CFD, including the unbuilt part. In other words, the entire subdivision, all the way up to the section line, to the north.
Okay, if that's the case, where's the money coming from if the money is already spent? Because some of the CFDs are not been implemented yet. They're not completed in Section 17, 18, 19, 20.
The main road, the landscaping, water lines were paid for, and they will be serving those new units. Okay, so the main road going in, that was part of the money that the CFD generated. Okay, so it's infrastructure that they will be using when they move into those new houses.
So the right now, I'm sure you've been out there, but right now I'm looking at the project, and the CFD, the infrastructures are not complete as of today, but the money is gone. So that's my question.
No, the money that brought the water lines to Pronghorn, the money that built Pronghorn Ranch Road, I mean, any number of those things. That these new homes that are under construction or will be at sometime over the next couple of years, they're getting the benefit of the CFD, and as soon as they move in, they start paying the CFD.
Yes, I realize that. So you're saying then, because the people are asking me, and I'm talking to different people in the different units, because we have now a coalition trying to get together to make sure that these people that are coming in will still be under the CFD. For 11 years. Mm-hmm. So when the CFD matures at 2029, July 15th, 2029, at that time we're going to get a reduction. That a CFD will be completely off our tax roll bill.
That is correct. Once the bill is paid, it's done.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when I say that, let me make a clarification. The bond issue will be paid off. There is a component of the CFD that pays for some of the maintenance, Okay, and that goes on and has an infinite life. But for the benefit of council, if you want to go into any more detail on this, I would encourage you to give me a call. We'll set up a time, and why don't you come into the office?
Yeah, I was there the other day. You weren't there, and I got your card, and I will definitely do that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Glenn. Okay, I would declare the public hearing closed, right? And we'll move on then to number F, consideration of authorizing the chairman to sign resolution number 42, adopting the final budget for Pronghorn Ranch CFD federal or fiscal year 18 and 19. Motion, anybody?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to authorize chairman in his absence, the vice chairman, to approve resolution number 42, adopting the final budget for Pronghorn Ranch Community Facilities District for fiscal year 2018-2019.
Good. Second, anyone?
I'll second, Mayor.
With a motion and a second, would you set the vote, Diane?
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, Diane. We'll go on to G, public hearing again. Declare the public hearing open for the final budget for Quailwood Meadows Community Facilities District. Bill, any comments?
Yes, Chairman, just a few. On this slide again, I'm just showing the value for Quailwood CFD. Again, you can see the sharp increase over the last few years. This year, actually, it increased by 17.6% over the previous year, so they've seen a large increase. Again, any current homes that's been on tax roll for more than a year or two, they've seen a 5% increase, so the difference is really related to new construction. This is the property tax rates. Quailwood, unfortunately, was during the recession. They were the ones that took the hardest hit. So, of course, you can see their tax rates during those years. They were significantly higher than Pronghorn and than what you'll see even in Stone Ridge. We are proposing this year that the rate be set at $2.98 compared to $3.13. Again, it's only around a 5% decrease, so you're not going to see, a lot of the residents out there will not see any major decrease in their tax bill. And I have an example of that here shortly. Part of the reason for that, on this developer contribution amount, you can see it's $58,000. This agreement's probably going to expire within the next year or two. When this was originally done, I projected $58,000. It came in actually closer to $40,000. So they're doing a lot better out there. So this is based on how many remaining homes, Quailwood, Empire, or Dorn, they have available yet to be sold. So last year they probably had one of the best years they've ever had. So when this source of revenue goes away, you will start seeing, unfortunately, the rates will start to have to go back up to cover up the difference between what this amount, what I have here, plus the debt service payment. So we may see the tax rates start going up again. And this right here shows a bill of a property owner. Last year they paid $496. This year it's going to be $495. So again, it's pretty much the tax bill does not change from one year to the next. So with that, Chairman, I'll answer any questions.
Questions, anyone? Public comment, anyone? No public comment, no questions. We declare the public hearing closed. We go on to number H, consideration of authorizing chairman to sign resolution number 33, adopting the final budget for Quailwood Meadows CFD fiscal year 2018-2019. Anyone care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Motion to authorize the chairman or his absence the vice chairman to approve resolution number 33, adopting the final budget for Quailwood Meadows Community Facilities District for fiscal year 2018-19 by electronic vote.
I'll second that, Mayor.
We have a motion and a second. Diane, would you set the vote?
It's unanimously passed, Mayor.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, we move on to number I. Again, a public hearing for final budget for Raven Ridge Community Facilities District. I declare the hearing open. Bill, you are up.
Thank you, Chairman. Actually, you can just tell it's very small budget for here, so I have really no comments regarding.
This is the final year for this one?
No, unfortunately, it is not. We have,
Oh,
I don't know, we have 12 property owners, and I think we have about 9 years left on this for the 12 property owners. So
Okay.
we got still a little bit of a ways to go. We're hoping for them to start selling their property so they'll pay off the assessment. So it's the quickest way for it to get paid off.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Bill? Anything else, Bill? Public comment? None. I declare the public hearing closed. We'll move on to number J. Consideration of authorizing the chairman to sign resolution number 39, adopting the final budget for Raven Ridge CFD fiscal year 2018-2019.
Mayor, I'll make a motion.
Motion, okay.
Motion to authorize the chairman, or in his absence, the vice chairman, to sign resolution number 39, adopting the final budget for Raven Ridge Community Facility District for fiscal year 2018-19.
I'll second, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you set the vote, Diane?
Passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, we move on to number K. Again, a public hearing, final budget for Southside number 1, Community Facilities District. I declare the public hearing open. Bill?
Chairman, I have no comments regarding
No
Southside.
comments?
No comments.
Any questions? Anyone? Comments? No public comment, I take it? I declare the public hearing closed. We move on to number A. Wait a minute.
Aye.
L,
Oh,
rather.
I'm sorry.
Consideration of authorizing the chairman to sign resolution number 33, adopting the final budget for Southside number 1, CFD, communities or fiscal year 18-19. Motion, anyone?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to authorize the chairman in his absence, the vice chairman, to sign resolution number 33, adopting the final budget for Southside Community Facilities District number 1 for fiscal year 2018-19.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you set the vote? Diane?
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. That's next we move on to number M. Another public hearing. Final budget for Stone Ridge Community Facilities District. I declare a public hearing open. Bill, any comments?
Yes, just a few, Chairman. This slide again shows the assessed value for Stone Ridge since 2000 and basically 3. Again, we're not quite back to where we were in 09, 010, or 08, 09. Again, it's very misleading based on the number of homes that are up there now versus back in 08, 09. Here's the tax rates. Right now, we are proposing for this upcoming fiscal year that the tax rate be set at $2.43. Last year was $2.59. So Stone Ridge, because of the larger assessed value, you can see over the years, they're by far been the one that's been below the $3.30 for the longest period of time. And in the last few years, there's been no other developer contributions or anything like that other than the rental income from the community center. So right here is the tentative budget. Again, the rental income, that's set. We just found out, it doesn't go to life of the bonds at this point, to our knowledge. It terminates 4 years prior to the life of the bonds. So those last 4 years, you may see some adjustments in those rates. Again, we hope the assessed values will grow to cover this $168,000. But here's the tax bill. So right last year it was $2.59. They paid $6.14. This year $2.43. Sorry, it'll be at $6.05. So they will see a decrease in their tax bill. May not be as much based on some of the comments I have received at some of those public hearings or public inputs weeks, days that we had. They still may not like that it hasn't gone down more, but this is what we're proposing at this time.
Well,
So with that, Chairman, I'll answer any questions.
Question, Mary?
it's just definitely better. They're all better than what they used to be. Yeah,
Yes.
it's all great.
And let's hope it continues
Yes.
for 10 more years.
Yes.
Then we'll be done.
Yes, all done. No more.
Questions, comments? If there's no other questions, no other comments, we declare the public hearing closed. We move on to number N. Consideration of authorizing chairman to sign resolution number 43, adopting the final budget for Stone Ridge CFD fiscal year 2018-19. Motion, anyone, or?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to authorize the chairman or in his absence the vice chairman to approve resolution number 43 adopting the final budget for Stone Ridge Community Facilities District for fiscal year 2018-19.
Second, anyone?
I'll second it, Mayor.
We have a motion and a second. Will you set the vote, Diane?
It passes unanimously, Mayor.
Good, thank you. Bill? Thanks, good job. And I don't know, anyone care to make any public comments? I think Glenn is the only one. Okay, if there's no public comments, let's move on to number 6. Anybody care to make
I'll
a
make a
motion
motion to adjourn.
Okay, with a motion.
I'll second.
Second, would you set the vote, Diane?
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, everyone.